When I first learned about a book by Stephen King called The Long Walk, it sounded like a boring book about maybe a guy taking a long walk cross country. Just sounded boring. I wasn't interested. And then years later, I decided to listen to a Stephen King book on Audible. So I started checking out synopses, and I read the synopses in it of The Long Walk, and it sounded interesting. Why is The Long Walk my favorite Stephen King book? This is what happened. So I listened to the book on Audible, and I was entirely fascinated. If my mind ever drifted, which happens a lot, I would rewind and make sure that I paid attention and listened to every line in the book and understood what was happening through the whole thing. Things, as I listen to audiobooks, the things that I hear set off my mind on a tangent, and then I realize I probably have to rewind 3 minutes for every 10 minutes I listen to. So anyway, I got through it, and I felt like I understood the book very well, and I was tempted to watch some reviews. It's a 10-hour book, and it took me 3 days to get through, and I was tempted. I had a long commute at the time, so had like 2 hours, and I was listening to it on my lunch break, so about 2.5 hours a day. I did not watch any reviews because I didn't want any spoilers, and I just wanted the experience firsthand. So I got a lot of bugs here. And after I listened to it the first time, I watched 3 reviews, and I didn't leave any comments at that time, and I thought, are they wrong or am I wrong? And so I went back and I re-listened to the book, and I took notes about how the rules work and the 2-minute timer and the difference between a courtesy warning and a penalty warning. And they don't use that terms in the book, but I use them to separate the 2 different types of warnings that you can get. And I discovered the rules to The Long Walk are actually very complicated. And what I was hearing from these reviews, they start out by saying the rules are simple. And then they go on to oversimplify, and they're just not accurate. So I left a bunch of comments, and then I thought I'd go back and listen to it again and document who all the characters were. And then I would listen to it again and try to document all the tickets to see if Stephen King got the count right, which he doesn't. There's only 97 that die. There should be 99. So I kept going back and listening to it again and again and again. I kept tracking more and more things. I started seeing mistakes in the book, so I started looking for mistakes and documenting those. And after a while, I had quite a few notes, and then I converted that into a web page. And now I'm converting the web page into this YouTube channel. And I started leaving notes, and some people would comment on YouTube channels, on their reviews, and some people would delete my comments. They didn't like saying, hey, you got these 10 things wrong, and it's actually this, and I would leave the excerpts as proofs that I wasn't just saying, hey, you got it wrong. I'm saying, this is wrong because the book says this, and I would leave the excerpt as proof. So now I'm on this journey with The Long Walk. Got a web page. I'm updating. I'm creating the simplified version of the book so you can read the whole book in 10 minutes. And I'm also updating the book for the year 2020 with killer drones, food drones, They're not using half tracks, they use self-driving electric Jeeps, and the walkers arrive in self-driving electric Teslas, and every boy has an iPhone and an Apple Watch, and they use GPS trackers which they inject into the back of their necks to track their speed. And it's just modern technology, and plus I'm trying to repair the mistakes. For example, there's a time in one of the chapters when it says it's noon, and then you go down 2 paragraphs later, it's suddenly 10:30 a.m. Time has gone backwards. That happens a few times in the book. Time goes backwards. So Stephen King wasn't really so strict on keeping things correct. And also, there are times when they would have had to keep a pace of 10 miles per hour or more in order to make it from point A to point B. So he didn't really... He probably drove this route and wrote down how things look and stuff, but it's not entirely accurate. Sometimes he was bending the truth, basically. So what I'm doing is, when I rewrite, is trying to fix these errors. And also, I think there are a lot of strategies they could have used that they didn't use. And so in my update of the book, I am updating scenes with what I consider better strategies that Stephen King didn't even mention. So that's fun. I'm making a lot of other changes here and there, just improving the book as I see fit. I'm like a wannabe author, with the fan fiction. I'm actually creating other fan fiction, like the backstories to Stebbins, the Major, McVrees, and so on. These characters that I consider the most interesting. Garrity is not that interesting to me. McVrees and Stebbins are interesting to me. Also, I didn't like the character played by Barkovich, and I'm changing his character to be more strategic. He's the man with the plan, and he's the smart guy, and he's out to win, and he's mature, and it doesn't bother him that people make fun of him, and he's using all kinds of strategies, like convincing Percy that he can escape so that he gets his ticket. So he's getting these people killed. Of course, they say that he killed Rank, but I disagree with that. I mean, that was a great strategy to piss off a guy, and then he gets his ticket. I mean, hell yes. He was smart. And so I have him as being a very smart guy, and I don't like the way Scram died. And Scram says, you are good guys, and they're all going to help his wife when he dies, if any of them win. So he wants one of his friends to win so that they can help out his wife. So Scram decides to take out Barkovich, because in my version Barkovich does not agree to help Scram's wife. So Scram decides to take out Barkovich and does that. So that made more sense to me, because Scram's a big moose of a guy, and he just used a strategy that wasn't used. So anyway, enough of my update to the novel. I just wanted to discuss this long walk journey, and the movie's coming out, which is awesome. So of course I'm going to review the movie, and then I'm going to compare the movie to the book, and just continue on. And my fan fiction also has like the sequel, Garrity, going to visit Scram's wife, and Garrity and Jan, what's their future, and so on. So it's just interesting to think about, and perhaps write up some stories. But check out the links below, and I've got lots of links to the mistakes and the characters and the fan fiction I'm working on. So I'll see you guys later on this long walk we call life.